Hi everyone, if you're watching this video you've probably seen one of the previous ones, where I talked about some of the features of the pedal I'm building, but you might still be wondering what is it going to be like, how is it going to sound, and when will it be available. So in this video I want to quickly go through all the features, just to get us on the same page, and talk about what to expect going forward. The pedal will have a fuzz and a filter. The fuzz will either be based on the CD4049 or on the Big Muff. It will have volume and gain controls and a foot switch. By holding or double pressing the foot switch you can get the fuzz. The filter will be a resonant filter with an 11 position rotary switch for the cutoff frequency, a knob for the resonance, a toggle switch to choose between low pass, high pass or band pass, and a foot switch to turn it on or off. On the pedal there will be another knob connected as a balance for a 2-channel mixer that in combination with a Metalix mixer can be used to combine the effects in different ways. Of course the pedal won't have all those switches. The Metalix will be completely digitally controlled, since another essential part of this pedal is the microcontroller. The audio part is completely analog, but the microcontroller manages the Metalix mixer, sets the output volume, and controls the filters. That's right, there are actually 2 filters. It's not a single state variable filter where you can switch between modes. This pedal will contain a low pass and a high pass filter, and they are independent. So by holding the filter foot switch and moving the toggle switch, you can set the 2 filters with different parameters. And if you do that again, they will be synced back together. You might think the 11 position cutoff frequency is limiting, but if you hold the filter foot switch and turn the resonance knob, you can fine tune the cutoff frequency. Thanks to the microcontroller, the filter parameters can also be modulated by an LFO or by an envelope follower that can follow either the input signal or an external one. The envelope follower automatically sets its gain, and its influence on the different parameters can be set using the microcontroller. To change all these parameters there will be a bit of menu diving. The idea is that by holding both foot switches and turning the rotary switch you can access the secondary parameters. The rotary switch will be used to scroll through them, and the resonance knob to adjust the selected one. This is also why I wanted to have a rotary switch, and not a potentiometer for the cutoff frequency. The fuzz and mixer knobs can't be used to edit the secondary parameters, since are connected directly to the circuit, and not to the microcontroller. This also means that can't be modulated or saved in a preset, but this might change. Do you think presets should include those parameters as well? You can edit all the other parameters via MIDI, so without menu diving. The pedal will have a jack that can be used to connect an expression pedal, to connect extra foot switches, or as a MIDI input, with an optocoupler, so it won't have ground loop issues. Let's go back to the filters for a moment. Another unique feature is that they will have an effect loop for the feedback path that can be used for experimental things but also for multi-band processing, since you can take the output of the filter from before or after the effect loop. Now some technical specs. The pedal will have around 1 MΩ of input impedance and less than 1 kΩ of output impedance, and the 9V input will be internally boosted to plus and minus 12 volts, and will also be isolated. As you can see, the project is quite complex, and to make it even more challenging I want to fit everything in a case this big. For reference, this is a chase blaze pedal, but apart from the effect loops and envelope input, all the connectors will be on the top side. So where am I in the development? Well, I think the power supply, multifunction jack and I/O sections are done. The problem is the rest. I've now started making this Euro-rack prototype so I can easily swap different modules, but for the moment I only have the filter section and some other parts just to make it work, like this 4-channel control voltage generator. So here is how the filter sounds. I haven't tested the effector loops in this demo, so let me know with which effects should I try and in which configuration. I still need to fine-tune the frequency response, but I'm not sure I will do it, because I might change completely the filter design. I might move from a Salen & Key LM13700 based filter, similar to the one found in a Korg MS-20, to a ladder filter, like the one used in Moog synthesizers. The reason for this change is that the ladder filter might take up less space inside the pedal, and it's also a less common choice. You can already find some great MS-20 filter pedals that also include some kind of distortion, but there aren't many ladder filter pedals, and even fewer with distortion, and I don't think any with a high-pass filter. So by making this change, my pedal will be even more unique, which I think is a good thing. But I would really like to hear your opinion on which type of filter should I go with. And another thing of the new filter is that it will be possible to switch between a 2 and a 4-pole filter. Technically this is also possible with an MS-20 filter, but it would take up much more space. Additionally, the dip switch I mentioned last week will turn on a bass or resonance compensation circuit for the low-pass filter. Let's now talk about the fuzz. This prototype includes both fuzzes, and here is how it sounds. I'm not fully satisfied with its sound, but I think there's some potential. Some of you mentioned that having both fuzzes would be nice, but I don't want to add another toggle switch or a foot switch combination to change between them. However, I might have found a solution, which I still need to try, but if it works I will share it with you, and then make a PCB to put in the Aurora case. For the Metalix mixer I first want to do a manual version, since I'm not sure if I want the channel to be summed or averaged, and then making it controlled by the microcontroller shouldn't be too hard. So yeah, there is still a lot of work to do, and I know it might seem I've not made much progress, but it's not. I think the research and the conceptual parts are almost done, so hopefully now it's only a matter of applying them. Still, I don't think I will be ready to release it in less than a year or two, but we will see. As you can imagine, developing it is quite expensive, and it will be a pricey pedal. Originally I was aiming for a price around 300 euros, but I think it will probably end up closer to 400 or more. Still, it's a very rough estimation, and it might end up cheaper. However, it's still not too far from similar products, but I still need to figure out all the business aspects. I'll probably run a Kickstarter campaign to launch it, but as I mentioned earlier, it's not something is going to happen soon. Another thing I still need to figure out is all the regulation stuff, both in the EU and US. I've already had to replace the circuit to avoid using photoresistors, but I will still need to get certification for EMI and other technical stuff I'm not really familiar with. So for now, let me know how should I test the feedback loops and whether the filter change is something appreciated. I'll keep you updated on the progress, and I will share some other projects I'm working on. So if you're interested, please subscribe. Ciao!